My son, I feel so helpless. My voice in the midst of a crowd crying, "Crucify him!" Hoarse with tears saying, "No! Don't do this to my son! Don't do this to anyone's son!" But no one is listening. It's like they've all gone crazy. Like they want to blame you for everything that's ever gone wrong in their lives. I saw you at the trial. Even though I was pushed to the back, squashed between Magdalene and a merchant, you were a pawn in a bigger political games than I could ever understand. Yet it was as if you had found a safe space for yourself, somewhere else, while they humiliated you, thinking such deep thoughts whilst the rest of the world went crazy. Now I've been swept here by this tide of angry people, hungry for blood. I'm at an execution, the execution of my own son, and so many people are staring at me, wanting me to break down, like leeches feeding on my agony. And I can't believe what they've done to you. Killing you is bad enough, but not like this. Playing games with your degradation, making it as bad as possible. A crown of thorns, stripping you. I haven't seen you naked since you were a child. I washed you when you soiled yourself, and I put soft, fresh clothes on you. I made everything right, but I can't make it all right now. I can't wash you. I can't cover you. This place smells appalling and I can't help. All I can do is be here. Be here, my son. And I will stay here for as long as you are here. I always knew you were special. But even when you were a tiny thing crawling around in the straw on the floor, and I called you my little lamb, you winced. Like a shadow of a wolf had passed the door. Was this why? Did you sense on some instinctive level? Did you know your blood was going to run down the hill and end up in the gutter with the other Passover lambs? When you were circumcised at 8 days, I was there in the background. They wouldn't let me closer then either. The day we named you Jesus, God saves, just as the angel had told us. Then too, I wanted to spare you the pain, but I knew the priest would have to cause you pain so that you could be part of our people. We had to do what God wanted. You screamed and you bled then, and my heart went out to you, for you still felt part of me. But then, afterwards, then I could at least hold you, kiss your face, and hug your pain away. They won't even let me near enough to touch you now. Living with you was the best thing that ever happened to me. You were so perfect, and even when you were young, you were incredibly wise. Like you would always see whatever was at the heart of a problem, an answer of some sort. When your cousin ran out of wine at the wedding, I knew you would come up with something. But I admit, that time you surpassed yourself in surprising me, changing the ritual washing water to wine, rewriting the rule book on mealtime hygiene. This time, though, this answer has agonized me. What rules are you rewriting now? How could you let them do this to you? Is this the answer? The only answer in the receptacle mess we're in? Couldn't there be another way? And as your mother, I can ask you, why didn't you take something to ease the pain? Why do you never take anything to ease the pain? They only offered you the wine mixed with myrrh to ease your suffering. Since your first headache as a strong, beautiful 6-year-old, you refused. And I could never see why. I only wanted to take your pain. Do you realize how hard it is watching you suffer? I remember once you told me you weren't going to sit in an ivory tower watching the rest of the world go by, that you were going to feel everything and heal. Eventually heal everything. I laughed at the time, at your solemnity, at such big plans for such a young boy. But you meant it, didn't you? You were being deadly serious. Unlike some of the others who were always thinking of the wonderful politicians they would become, I always knew deep down that something awful was going to happen. Ever since I presented you to God in the temple, for in that sense you never really were mine, just a beautiful gift that I got to treasure for a short time. There was a prophet there on that day, and he said many strange things about rising and falling of many people, and that a sword would stab me. And now I think it has. I've had nightmares about that sword. Every time I've heard the risks you were taking, criticising the priests, a sword twisting slowly in my gut. The worst thing, my little boy is watching it happen. This time I can't heal you. I'm going to actually watch you die today, aren't I? No narrow escape that will make me hold my breath with terror and then relax as I see you disappear into the crowd. You're not going to walk away from this one, are you? And if I held my breath to wait for your escape, then I'd never breathe again. But I am here. You know I'm still here, don't you? John and I, we're still here, still as standing, as near as they'll let us. Your eyes are misting over, and I've never seen you this pale. But they say the hearing is the last thing to go, and I want you to hear at least one friendly voice. I will stay with you to your very last breath, my son, to your very last breath.